So this is my second time playing with Durant. As you saw in my last game, I really didn't actually get to play Durant. I was playing one of the very few lock decks that's around with a Slowking and Weavile. So this will kind of be my first chance to actually show how the Durant deck works. Only reason why I'm playing Durant, I actually despise this deck, is just because people have been requesting that I play something other than Zekiels, and my collection of TCG or PTCG or whatever you want to call them cards really isn't that high, so I really don't have many other options. This is actually a very rough build of Durant, so yeah, it's just a very poor game. So I go ahead and get a start. Unfortunately, I get a Mewtwo start, and my Mewtwo is in there honestly just as filler because I had nothing else to. I didn't have enough catchers, crushing hammers, stuff to really make this deck work. So I throw in one Mewtwo instead of like a typical Kabalion or anything like that. And of course, I start with it. So not happy about that at all. I attach a metal to try and get him out of the active position, but Lost Remover destroys my chances of that. I kind of lost track of things. I punted. Probably should have tried the Crushing Hammer on the Thundurus to slow him down a bit, but or did I? I'm sorry, I don't even remember if I already did or not. So I attach an Eviolite to Durant, Collector for that fourth Durant, and I was really hoping on that Oak to pull a Sky Arrow or a Pont, or not a Pont, Sky Arrow or a Switch. I think I run Switch in this. I'm honestly not sure. Like I said, this is a very, very rough deck, but yeah. So we'll kind of see. And yeah, I think it's his turn. So he's got his loaded up Thundurus, his only Pokemon on the field, and hits me for 80 and then passes. Or not passes, but hits me for 80. So I Juniper my hand away since there wasn't really much I could use. And I really need to get that Mewtwo out of the active position, and really a Juniper and nothing. No energy to get that Mewtwo out of the active position, to even power up a Durant, no Sky Arrow, nothing. So really, really disappointed by a Juniper that yields no energy. And that's one thing I have a lot of in this deck, because I didn't have, like I said, anything else to put in this deck, with the lack of Crushing Hammers and things like that. So he's going to play a Professor Oak's New Theory. The difficulty on his side is that by only running Thundurus, while he, without Eviolite and stuff, he can one-shot Durant's, is that he has to keep up a steady stream of energy to it, and without Eels, that can be difficult. Especially once I eventually, if I ever, start Devouring. So he is able to knock out the Mewtwo, take 2 prizes. I get that Durant up. There's the metal energy that I needed. So, yeah, a little frustrating, but, you know, oh well. So now I'm trying to decide what really to play. Go with Twins. I know I need at least one metal energy to help myself get going for next turn, because likely he's going to be knocking out that Durant on the next turn, and I've got to keep a steady stream of Devours up, so I have a chance. This will probably be the last game that I show with Durant, because like I said, I just despise this deck. So I attach one of my metal energies to the Durant, and I'm going to Devour for 4. If I can keep up a steady stream of Devours, I'll be alright. If not, nope, that'll be the game. So, he's got to get one more energy onto the Thundurus, which he does. And he's got, right now with that Eviolite attached, he's 10 short of knocking me out, so he's got a Junk Arm for that plus power. And I don't know why that popped up right there, but yeah. So he did Junk Arm for the plus power. And that should be enough to knock me out. So here's where it gets difficult. I've got to somehow slow him down a bit, and especially since I did not get a turn 1 Devour, or even, like turn 2 or turn 3 Devour, I've got to keep up heavy Devours for the rest of the game. So, definitely need a Super Rod to get that those metal energy back in, as well as Durant. So now I'm going to use Dual Ball. to double heads, which, oh, another thing I don't have, which is pretty standard for a Durant deck, is Rotom. So if any of my Durants are ever prized, I'm screwed. So again, this is another reason why I'm probably never going to play this deck again. Played a couple games with it, and yeah, just did not have a good time with it at all. So I'm going to junk arm those two for the Crushing Hammer to try and stall a bit. So play the Crushing Hammer, and hits a Tails. So that was pretty much useless. So now I'm going to Twins, and yeah, unfortunately that I think is the only Crushing Hammer in the deck, so definitely need a Mental Energy to keep myself going on the next turn. Probably, yeah, going to go for another Eviolite to force him to get the plus power again. So attach it to the active, and I'll Devour for 4. And obviously I think it's, he's still got 33 cards left in his deck before, and so that Devour will bring him down to 29. After he draws his hand, it'll be 28. So right now I really need to hope that I'm devouring a lot of energy, because he does need to keep up a steady stream of energy. And there is another junk arm for the plus power that he needs to knock me out. So that's a bit frustrating, keeping up a steady stream of that. So there's plus power, there is also the energy, but luckily now he is down 2 cards in his hand, so hopefully he's going to have a hard time recovering from this one. So I'm going to go ahead and play the active Durant, pull the special metal, so we're going to try again to make this a little more difficult for him. And I'm going to Juniper away that regular metal to draw a new hand of 7, and hopefully be able to get some junk arms or something to get it going. So while I get the revive to be able to get out the 4th Durant, I was unable to pull out any junk arms to be able to get another Crushing Hammer out or another Eviolite out, which means that yeah, he's still able to one-shot me. So I do, luckily, on that Devour, take out one of his plus powers as well as one of his junk arms. So this deck, I'm actually surprised. I'm assuming it's as if I've seen, you know, the Thundurus and the Zek, or the Electric, that it actually runs quite a few plus power. That is not terribly unusual in Ezekiel's deck, but still not terribly common, I should say. So I play the Lithograph just because why not, and see that my second Super Rod is prized. I have a second Super Rod in there, simply because, again, lack of cards in the deck to play. So I do see the Eviolite in my hand, attaching that to the one with special metal, making it more difficult for him to knock that out. And then I'm going to have to junk arm here for a revive. And I have no choice but toss out that metal and hope that with the Juniper, or am I going to decide to go with... I actually decide to go for the stall tactic. Because he has only 1 prize left, I go for the Crushing Hammer and hit the head. So that's going to keep me alive a little while longer, and hopefully a Devour of 3 won't be too bad. A couple Pawns and a Dynamo. It's not the greatest. I was really hoping for some more energy in there, but, you know, we'll see. And hopefully I'll be checking his deck soon to kind of give you an idea of how many cards are left. He does manage to attach another one for the turn, and I bench an Eviolite to Durant. Now, I will honestly say that I did not know what the glitch is with Eviolite. So when I bench that, or attach that Eviolite, I did not know that that compounds, essentially, the Eviolite to where it would likely reduce 40, rather than just the 20 onto my active. Did not know that. Like I said, this is my first time playing Durant. Yeah, and so then the guy calls me a cheater. And yeah, really, how, considering that I only run 1 Eviolite in my Ezekiel's deck, so there's never the chance of that compounding. So I ask him, how did I cheat? You know, I devoured for 3. That's bringing his deck down quite a bit. And he's got to get, because I have the special metal and the Eviolite, I'm reducing by 30, which means he has to hit me for 100 to knock me out. So there is another junk arm for a plus power. I'm sure it's going for a plus power. So he's got to play the double plus power to knock me out. So he decides instead to go for the catcher to knock out my last Durant. So, yeah, he says the Eviolite glitch, accuses me of cheating with the Eviolite glitch. And it really, as you can see, it doesn't matter. So I told him, you know, it's not my fault. I don't play decks with multiple Eviolite. I can't be held responsible for knowing. There's actually a forum where you can check out all the glitches on the that are in this game, and the list goes on forever. There's no way you could possibly memorize them all. So while I knew there was an Eviolite glitch, I didn't know what it was caused by. It doesn't matter anyways. He had the catcher, and end of game. But it does really show, just again, poor sportsmanship. Just accusing your opponent of cheating when there's no evidence that they are. I had a game previously where the guy was using experience share, and that's a glitchy card too. I didn't accuse him of being a cheater or anything like that. I just assumed it was a glitch. Come to find out later, though, that he intentionally uses that to cheat. And so in which case he would be a cheater, but without any evidence, I had no reason to call him that. And again, it's just a glitch. So, yeah, it really sucks when you encounter poor sports on the online game. But again, you find that a lot in person too. So, like I said, this will probably be the last time I play a Durant deck, just because I hate the way the deck works, and I hate having that having to win by a deck out condition. So, I'll if I can find anything else to build that I can build with my current Pokemon library, I'll build something else and try it out. If not, you're gonna see the same old Zek Eels or Magneals deck, because that's just all I have. So, hope you guys somewhat enjoyed this. This deck. Again, I don't really think it was that exciting because it was still a Ezekiel's deck versus a Durant deck. It was just on opposite sides. So, more battle vids will be coming up soon.